Imagine you've built the ultimate fortress, a shield that cost billions of dollars, designed to be completely impenetrable, to see everything, and to stop, well, anything. Now, what if I told you that in a matter of minutes, it all went dark, completely taken down by an attack nobody even saw coming? Today, we're going to break down exactly how an invisible weapon can take out a very visible, very expensive defense. And the secret, well, it's kind of hidden in plain sight, in the signals that are all around us. So yeah, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? When a country spends a fortune on a state-of-the-art air defense system, how do you even think about getting past it? Well, it turns out the answer isn't about having bigger missiles or faster jets. It's all about fighting smarter, not harder. Okay, so first, let's get a sense of what we're talking about here. To justify that massive price tag, this shield was built to handle some really serious threats. We're talking about an entire air force of advanced jets like these, planes that can challenge pretty much any airspace. So the defense system had to be the best of the best. And the hardware? Whoa, it was absolutely top tier. I mean, you've got these powerful Russian-made S-300 missile systems. Let's call these the fists of the network. They're long-range, super high-speed, and they're designed to just knock anything out of the sky long before it even gets close. This is the muscle. But, fists are pretty useless if you can't see what you're trying to punch. And this system could see for hundreds and hundreds of miles using these really sophisticated Chinese-made radar arrays. These are the eyes of the whole operation, constantly scanning the sky. And as you're about to see, those powerful eyes, well, they were about to become its biggest weakness. And here's the absolute craziest part of the story. This incredible, super expensive system, with its Russian fists and its Chinese eyes, was made completely useless. Not in a few hours, but in minutes. It went from being an all-seeing guardian to a totally blind giant. So the question is, how on earth did that happen? Well, the answer starts not with a bang, but with a signal. The very first strike was completely invisible. It was like a ghost in the machine that set the whole thing up for a total collapse. This quote right here, it just says it all. The fight was basically over before the fighter jets were even in the neighborhood. This wasn't a battle for the skies. It was a battle for the electromagnetic spectrum. So how did they pull off this invisible first punch? It's a tactic called electronic jamming. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Imagine you're trying to listen to your favorite song on the radio, but someone next to you just turns on a huge speaker blasting pure static on that exact same frequency. Your song is gone, right? It's just noise. Now imagine that, but on a terrifying military scale. So, flying from the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford, way out of range of any missiles, these special electronic warfare planes just started pumping out a massive, massive amount of electronic noise. They basically created a digital smokescreen, a giant wall of static pointed right at Venezuela's radar network, effectively blinding its eyes. Okay, and this is where it gets really, really smart. Because the jamming itself, that wasn't the attack. It was the bait. It was the bait for this brilliant trap that was designed to turn the system's greatest strength, its powerful radar, into a fatal weakness. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of one of those radar operators. 1 minute, your screen is clear, you can see for hundreds of miles. The next, it's just a total blizzard of static. You're completely blind. You know there are enemy planes out there, somewhere, but you have no idea where. Panic starts to set in. What do? Well, you do the most logical thing in the world, right? You try to power through it. It's like trying to shout to be heard in a really loud room. The operators crank the power on their radars all the way up to maximum, trying to burn through all that static. But what they didn't realize was that in doing so, they had just made their own radar sites the brightest, loudest, most obvious things in the entire sky. And just like that, the very piece of equipment that was designed to find the enemy, well, it became the target. The shield wasn't a shield anymore. It was a giant, glowing bullseye, basically screaming its exact location to anyone who was listening. So the trap was set, and the bait was taken. Now it was time to spring it. Time for the final blow. And this strike wasn't aimed at a plane. It was aimed at a signal. And you have to remember this relationship. The sensor, those are the radar eyes, they tell the shooter, the missile fists, where to go. They're totally dependent on each other. If you take out the eyes, the fists are just left swinging in empty air. And there is a very special weapon for this exact job. It's called an anti-radiation missile. It's really a fascinating piece of technology. Think of it like a bloodhound, okay? But instead of sniffing a scent, it sniffs for radio waves.
Its entire job is to find where a radar signal is coming from and fly straight into it. So when those radar operators cranked their power up to full blast, they might as well have put up a giant neon sign in the sky, flashing, "Hey, the most important target is right here," for these signal-hunting missiles. They literally did all the hard work for the enemy. The missiles didn't even have to look for a target. They just locked onto those screamingly loud signals and rode the beam all the way down. By destroying the radar arrays, the eyes, they made the entire multi-billion-dollar defense network totally useless. The fists were still there, sure, but now they were just flailing around blindly in the dark. So, what's the big picture here? This story is more than just a clever military tactic. It actually shows us a fundamental change in the rules of modern warfare. And this is the point you really have to get. The first battle of the next war probably won't be fought with bullets. It's going to be fought with bandwidth. If you can control the electromagnetic spectrum, if you control who can see, who can talk, and who can navigate, you control the entire battlefield before a single shot has even been fired. So let's just recap the big lessons here. First, any sensor you use to see the world can be turned around and used as a beacon to target you. Second, an attack you can't even see can be way more devastating than one you can. And finally, in this new kind of warfare, being the loudest person in the room just makes you the first one to get hit. And that kind of leads us to one final, pretty unsettling thought. We are all swimming in an ocean of signals right now. From our phones, our Wi-Fi, our smartwatches, everything. If a military-grade shield can be turned into a weakness just because it's broadcasting, it kind of forces you to ask, in a world where every single signal is a potential beacon, what does it even mean to be safe?
If you're interested in science, subscribe now to be part of this family and be the first to know about exclusive tips.